Security tips for Telesystem Video Conferencing. Telesystem takes security very seriously, and we've taken every possible measure to protect your account. But as a Telesystem conference video host, there are additional steps you can take to protect your meetings before and during the gathering. Let's take a look. Tip number 1, don't let that party start without you. In other words, turning this feature on ensures that no participants can see or communicate with each other before you actually arrive as the host. Tip number 2, what's the magic word? Add a password that the participants have to input when they join the meeting room. This ensures that you have no uninvited guests. Tip number 3, ring that bell. The entrance chime plays whenever a new participant joins your meeting. And tip number 4, lock the door. While in a meeting, the host has a number of controls that will allow them to manage their conference, but these controls include locking your room. This completely locks down the room to prevent any additional participants from joining. Let me show you. Now, when you are using your meeting app, right here, let's give it a little jiggle. On the top right, there's a settings gear. So we'll click on settings, and the box that comes up has some general settings right away. But what you're going to click on to enable some advanced features is right down at the bottom in blue. So one of the ways to enable some of those tips is by going to this advanced features section. And there's actually a lot of things you can do here. This is going to apply to your specific account that you're logged into. Anything you do here would be just for you. But as you can see, there's lots and lots of things you can do. Now, this join before host is the default setting. So for all of your meetings that you plan, if this is turned on, it will allow the participants to join before you. But we have it turned off by default. I'm going to suggest that's the best way to protect your meetings before you arrive to them. Now, you can allow your participants to arrive before you, but only if they have the magic word, the password, right? So that is the setting right below that. I just turned it on, and that would require that password. Now, that's going to show up in the meeting invitation for your users. I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. And then right below it, you can even get a little bit more specific. You can generate and require a password for the participants when they choose to join by phone. Now, remember, although this product is called the Telesystem Video Conferencing Service, you can actually join meetings purely by the phone account, calling into a number and using a code. So if you want to protect those users as well, make sure that you turn this feature on. And if you keep scrolling down here, there's lots of other features available. Now, this is a really great one. We usually have this turned on by default here. This play sound, let me turn this back on. When the participants join or leave, that's the entrance and exit chime. So bring when someone joins. So if you don't lock down your meeting and participants can join you at any time while the meeting's running, that's completely fine. But it can be helpful to have a chime play so that you as the host know when people are coming and going. And you can be really aware of that for your class and for your team members that you are hosting that day. Now let me show you another way to add some of these security options. It's actually just when you schedule the meeting. So I'll click on my schedule bubble here on the bottom left. And in the meeting options area, I'm going to expand that near the bottom. You can, on a per meeting basis, require meeting password. And this can be alphanumeric. I can put in hi there, with some digits afterwards. This is where I can override my normal setting, which is where I don't allow people to join before me as the host. I can enable them to join me or not. And this is also going to give you some other information. Now, what I want to show you next is, if I have the hi there 178 in my meeting invitation as the password, just so you know how the participant receives that, let's go ahead and schedule this meeting. And I want to show you what it will look like. In the invitation you send them, here it is. So here's the URL that they're going to see. And that's what they click on to join by their computer or their device of any sort. But when they try to enter your room, it will give them a pop-up, asking for their password. So what's the magic word? So there's my hi there 178. That's how they know what to put in. So it's included in the invitation along with all the other join information that they always need to get to you. Now, when you start your meeting, let's go ahead and quickly start the meeting. You have a lot of options for managing your participants. If you click on Manage Participants in the bottom black bar here, you will be able to see everybody that's joined you here. So as the host, you have that control. You can decide if you want to remove people from your meeting. You can mute just one person if you're getting a lot of feedback from them and such. But what I want to show you is locking the room. I mentioned this as the lock the door, the security tip number 4. When you are running the meeting, if you think to yourself, okay, all of my participants that I've invited are here, I don't want any uninvited guests, you can lock it down. Down here on the bottom right, but right beneath my participants, there's a more option. And you can see I already have a few things checked by default. It allows participants to mute and unmute themselves. I usually give my participants that control. And it plays the entrance and exit chime as we mentioned earlier. But what's not checked is this lock. So if you choose that option, the system will actually kind of say, are you sure? By giving you this little pop-up, no new attendees can join. You say yes, and it will lock the room. Now, those are just a few of the security tips. We do strongly suggest you take every precaution possible to protect every gathering you have on this service, whether it's your team members that you're managing in business, whether it's your class that you're teaching, whether it's your family. We want this service to protect all of those conversations that you have and enhance those relationships. So take these measures. If you have any questions, as always, call Telesystem at 888-808-6111. Thanks.